Hey guys, it's Syama here, and I'm here with Charlotte from Plum Pretty Sugar, and we've got an amazing story to tell you. I'm so excited to be with you here, Charlotte. Thank you for your time. I know it's a crazy trade show, so much shit going on, but your brand has the most interesting story, and I feel like you guys have really captured an amazing market. You're constantly evolving, and today I want you to tell me more about you and about what you guys are up to. You can hang on to this.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Well, I started the brand almost 10 years ago, actually, and we evolved out of the wedding industry. When I started the brand, we were kind of just more robes and what have you. And I thought to myself, how am I going to sell these robes? And the wedding industry, that getting ready category, didn't exist until I started it, essentially. I thought to myself, the wedding market needs this getting ready piece before the wedding. And what a better way to kind of create bonds and memories than kind of create this category where they could wear my product. So that's what we grew out of. And in recent years, we've become more lifestyle and more apparel oriented. So we've come to market differently.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit about like how you guys approach just sales and distribution and influencers. I mean, I feel like your ecosystem, we'll start with the first one, but I mean, your ecosystem is amazing. I mean, you have so many pieces in the collection. It's like the brand has such a strong voice. So like, tell me, I guess, first of all, a little bit about kind of just distribution. You have a really interesting distribution model that I'm dying to have you talk more about.
Yeah. Well, our primary distribution right now is direct to consumer, and that started, again, kind of out of the wedding industry. We also have other distribution models. We're on Amazon, and then, of course, we're here building our wholesale model. So we're kind of full circle. The fourth piece is that we actually have a brick and mortar store. So we're kind of playing in all these different places and trying to really create this sort of lifestyle where people can be a part of our brand in our way.
Got it. And so tell me a little bit about like, I mean, how do you handle these distribution channels when they're all so different, right? I mean, I feel like you're almost speaking to like different consumers on these channels, and then you're bridging them into your life. So like, what do you think is kind of the like most integral part that keeps the glue together?
That's a hard one. It really is the collection in terms of the base of who we are. And obviously we're floral. We do have some solids, but we're feminine, and we have this kind of breezy, sophisticated but very girly feeling. And that's the feeling that we're staying true to. And we want that feeling to be in all parts of what we do. So if it's our brick and mortar store feels breezy and feminine and sophisticated. If we're on Amazon, that's harder, right? So we think about, okay, what are our prints and products that we can put on there in the right way that also give this feeling. So we're not going to just go with solids and certain things that aren't going to project our feminine feeling. So we're really picky about how we choose our products on each platform.
Amazing. I think that that's so important. You know, I think sometimes brands are like, oh, I need to be on all these different platforms, and then they take the same shit and then they just throw it out there, and you're like, actually, no, like that doesn't work. You know, you have to take a really thoughtful approach to like design and distribution and what's going to work. So kudos for that, because I think that really attributes to a lot of your success. Shifting gears and kind of talking a little bit more about influencers and partnerships. You know, I'd love to hear about the role that these guys have played in the development of the brand, how you guys approach it, and kind of what is the philosophy around collaboration?
Wow, there's so much that you just and I feel like
it's a little loaded.
Yeah, and I feel like it honestly changes every day. You know, we know how important influencers are, whether it's our actual customers and clients as influencers, and we feel honestly those are the strongest influencers for us. That word of mouth with millennials especially is huge for us, and then word of mouth with anyone. So we really try to use our customers that like us and order from us over and over as our key influencers. And then beyond that, certainly we've done collaborations with, Rachel Parcell, for instance, she just did something. And a lot of these, they just come sort of naturally to us. And so we want to find those people that are, it feels natural. And it's actually changing so much. And we're kind of working right now in terms of, okay, who are the influencers for the different segments of our business?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
that's crazy.
Because like an influencer in our bridal business is different than an influencer in our apparel business. And then platform to platform, some people, influencers they impact more of sort of our Amazon customer, and some influencers impact more of our like apparel wholesale customer. So we try to think about it within each part of our business, but also globally.
Got it. Different influencers for different channels, a lot of work. Product development seems like it's like rapid. I mean, you guys are quick to market, so much amazing stuff going on here. So in terms of, just to kind of bring it back home to where we are now, so we're in Magic, right? It's like crazy trade show atmosphere. Not a lot of founders are attending the trade shows, right? And I'm such a huge believer on how important it is for people who are the heads and the brands of their companies to be on the ground and to connect with their retailers and to really espouse the brand. You are definitely espousing your brand. I'm sure you're the epitome of your brand. So tell me a little bit about the role, I guess, that you're playing here kind of at this trade show and how you think the role of the founder is in a show like this.
Well, I think it's important to really understand who your customer is and what they're saying. The feedback is, it's huge and it's everything. I mean, we heard some interesting information yesterday that we're going to immediately apply into our business. And so it's being open to ideas and criticisms and just, when people walk by, what are they saying? So it's important for me to hear it firsthand. And I mean, I think the other thing is also just being here with my team. It's if we're going to all work together and be, this growing, thriving business, we all have to work together. And I'll do the work just as much as anyone. So
it's amazing. I think sometimes people really undervalue the role that it takes on all front lines when you're the head of a company. And it's like when you are there really driving the team and you're there showing up for the team. I think a lot of companies, are really like, oh, here's my sales team and I'm going to ship them off and I'm going to be over here. And, I think that having that connectedness really helps to foster being a family, I mean, I think that's so great. So kudos to you because I think that that's really amazing. So what's on the horizon, right? It's we got lots of great products. We got brick and mortar. We're doing experiential. We got Amazon. I mean, it's you got a lot going on, right? So, what is ahead for the business? Where do you think, you need to be focusing? What's on the top of your mind right now?
So much. For us, we have these two sort of customer segments. So we have wedding and then we have apparel. And the challenge for us is how do we maintain and grow in those two categories. And, we have to look at all the different product categories across those. And I think long term is just doing more and the same and just building. I mean, it's just every day, wake up, do the right thing, think about it, do the right thing. It's just keep moving forward with good decisions and, a good team.
Amazing. And for some of the retailers and just brands out there that are struggling, the old ones, the ones that are what do we do? Or how do we learn from brands like yours that are really so innovative in terms of being known for something? If you could give an old school brand some advice, and no, if you could give an old school brand some advice to help them up their game, what would you tell them?
I would say don't be afraid of change. We're even old at this point. We're 10 years old. But we're changing every day and we're looking at the business with new eyes every day, I hope, and changing and adapting to consumer needs. And consumer needs these days, it's just when you think you've got them nailed, it changes. And you just have to have eyes wide open and be able to just look critically, I think, at your brand.
Amazing. Perfect. So Charlotte, do you want to show me any cool pieces from the collection? Show me around.
Yeah, so this is a collection we launched earlier in the year, and it actually has been performing really, really well, and we've added new pieces to it.
Amazing.
We also added some solids. So in here you've got sort of dresses, kind of dressier dresses, casual dresses, things that go from outer to inner, or also day to night, or day to pool. In here we've also got some lounge, our little
Couple
sweater
solids
robes.
in here. Couple solids.
Couple
right?
solids, couple solids. But you'll notice what we do is we try to, with our prints, we try to do things that are really sort of innovative as well. So we don't just take a print, this is our Kiss Mix print, and then change the colorways 4 times. So you'll notice in here every single print is different, but it fits together. So we spend a lot of time honing in.
Prints are such a big part of your, it's like, I feel like a lot of brands just don't get prints, or they try to, and they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's one of those things, and you either kind of have it or you don't, kind of a thing, because it's.
So how do you have it?
I don't know. I don't have a lot, but somehow I intrinsically have this print ability. I don't know, but we think about it a lot. I mean, we have people that help draw them, and we change the colors and change the scale, and add and delete flowers and twigs and all kinds of stuff. So we spend a lot of time honing our
product
prints.
development and design is like really big.
Really, really big.
Okay.
Really big.
No, it makes a lot of sense. You can't just put a big flower on someone's butt, and be like.
Yeah, especially when you're cutting things, it's not a print placement type deal. So you want to be sure that you're creating a print that, regardless of how it gets cut, it's going to look
good.
pretty.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God, amazing. So like any new styles that you guys are rolling out?
Okay,
yes.
We're going to go to
that. Okay, let's go that way.
over here.
Okay, cool.
We have our new collection that's coming out, and we have some new styles in here.
Okay.
And actually, if you can see Cortland over here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this dress jumper.
Oh my God, I love this
thing. But it's really cute, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's so flattering. It I feel like it would look amazing on like so many different body types.
The other thing that we really try to do too, that I think from a product development standpoint, we try to separate ourselves in terms of it's something that's flattering on a lot of people. It doesn't have a lot of zippers. It doesn't have a lot of, bits and pieces to it that is hard for someone to try on, buy online, et cetera, et cetera. We try to make it beautiful.
Easy to sell online.
Exactly. I mean, we don't always succeed, but that's in our mind in terms of, is this a fit that will fit a significant amount of people without a lot of like push and pull.
That's really great. So in terms of just like your retail partnerships, right, and going into wholesale, have you found that your retail partnerships are they asking you for a lot of requests about like customization or like new product development? Or are they just like, we love what you have and we just want more of that?
Yeah. Amazing. They're not asking for a lot of customization. They ask us for prints, print development. I think our prints, like we said, kind of separate us from a lot of other prints. So they do ask for prints, which is great. We love
exclusive prints or
exclusive prints, or just what's new. Give us what's new, what's next, etc. They want to see prints, all the way out, into spring, into next summer, etc. So that they can kind of plan ahead too. And they look at our prints for colorways so that they can, build a story with their other brands.
Oh, amazing. So they're almost like anchoring kind of an assortment based on what you guys are pre-planning. That's an incredible amount of power, but that's a lot of power,
For what do you guys have so that we can think a little bit more broadly.
That's amazing. And then as far as like your collections and just like your deliveries, I mean, obviously keeping up with like newness online versus newness in stores, like how on earth are you managing all of these deliveries?
That's a good question. We tend to heavy up our deliveries earlier in the year because, again, we're sort of in the wedding industry a little bit, so we know that that's seasonal. So a lot of our deliveries and our newness comes, early in the year, and then we kind of taper it off towards the end of the year. We might look at adding a little splash before the holiday, but then, we'll kind of let it roll a little bit, and then it'll be kind of wedding season, if you will, where we kind of start picking it back up. So
And that's crazy.
We're trying
Yeah.
to time things.
I mean, it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, you have the wedding cycles, you have the ready-to-wear cycles. I mean, it's not
not
science,
easy,
easy.
and it's totally not science. There's been many failures, but we try to pull it off.
Okay, one last question. Anything unrealistic or crazy that like a retailer has asked of you guys to do?
Oh my gosh, I don't think I have an
Okay, that's all right. I got one more question.
I don't think I have an answer.
When you are thinking about influencers and partnerships, like how do you evaluate the people who are coming in? So I'm sure people want to work with you. You have a vision of who they are, right? And obviously you're looking at them in terms of like merchandise and the fit and the culture. So like, you know, how far in advance are you planning partnerships if you like when you look into them, and like how do you build out that criteria?
You know, we established some criteria and we're using it, and then we realized this isn't really working. It's just like it changes all the time. You know, it's like you think you have this science and then it changes. So honestly, we just look at it case by case, and you know, we have different thinking all the time. Like we might, you know, have someone who comes in who wants to work with us, and
Do you ever say no?
yeah, I mean, honestly, sometimes we just don't have the inventory or the promotional budget, etc. So yeah, you know, we have to look at our budget and what we have in terms of sample availability or promotional product availability. You know,
Is that a big part of your I mean, how do you plan like budget wise for like influencer product? I mean, is it just like, you know?
yeah, because we could spend a fortune on it. We could be like, okay, here, everyone, and we love them. You know, again, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, we feel like we have a lot of influencers kind of talking right now, and then we don't. So we kind of, you know, sort of
Change
mesh our budget to where we think our marketing needs are at that given time.
Amazing. So it changes. I mean, I think that's kind of the big thing here is that to be successful, you have to change and you have to be open and everything. Amazing. So any final parting words that you want to share? Any words of wisdom for being a founder and growing this amazing company?
Yeah, you know, I think the one thing that I've learned and people sort of ask me is, you know, how do you do it? I think my one word advice, and I guess it's listen to your gut. Is that 4 words?
Yeah, 4 words.
So I think that's it. Is just listen to your gut, and if it's not working, it's probably not working. You're gonna have to change it. Like listen to that inner voice. And I've gone against that, and it's failed. So I've learned intuition, your gut. You got to learn which part of that like thinking is your gut. But yeah, that's
amazing. Thank you. You're the best. Thank you so much.